for all.
Radio for all.
You are now live with the Humble Prince on Sahara FM Radio. Yeah.
Yep, live with the Humble Prince on Sahara FM Radio. Again, I just want to say that tonight's show. You can have mine.
No.
Yeah, whatever, man. Let's give a round of applause to the beautiful Luvvie Ajayi, writer and social media strategist. One of the biggest women on social media, just in the world, period, man. And she's so humble. Luvvie, thank you once again for coming on Live with the Humble Prince. I really appreciate you, man. Seriously.
Indeed.
You're so humble. You're so gracious, vibrant. I don't even know what to say, man. You know, I don't want people to think I'm kissing up and everything, but, you know, for what you do and everything and, you know, how humble you are, I just want to say that, you know, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Yeah, fantastic. So, tonight's show is brought to you by Live with the Humble Prince. Tonight's show is brought to you by Vibrant Entertainment presents Basket Mouth in New York City. Please check us out June 27th. I said us because I'm hosting that show, and Basket Mouth is going to be performing. Basket Mouth is Africa's #1 comedian. Please check it out. This is not something you want to miss. So, Luvvie, thank you so much, all the way from Chicago. So, what brings you to town this time around?
I was here hosting the after party for the Gloria Steinem Awards that the Miss
nice.
Foundation did. So that was good.
How was that?
Oh, we had a ball.
I can imagine.
I had Gloria Steinem partying. Yeah. So that was fun. And then yesterday I had an event with the Scenarios USA.
Okay.
They did screenings for like films that high school kids did, like
Nice.
brilliant films.
Nice.
And then today I'm here with you.
That's what I'm talking about. I was saying, Wednesday, Live with the Humble Prince. So thank you for your very busy schedule. So, you know, one thing, we're going to just, you know, talk about a few things, but, you know, I saw a post that you did the other day telling them that, you know, you just didn't arrive today on social media. This is something that you've been doing for about 12 years and everything. So, you know, people that don't know you and everything. So please just, you know, just a few burps. Tell them a little bit about yourself and how you got started and how you arrived. Because I think you have,
what I do, I am a writer, I'm a digital strategist, I'm a professional troublemaker.
Oh. but the way, go ahead, but I like the way you do it though. You do it with some charm.
Yeah.
With a smile.
And I've been doing it for 12 years. I started in college.
Okay.
I was just writing about randomness, and then randomness kind of grew, and it took on a life of its own.
Right.
And now I have my website, awesomelyluvvie.com.
Yes.
I have awesomelyketechy.com, where I teach people about technology and making it, you know, work for them besides loitering.
Okay.
And I have my nonprofit, the Red Pump Project, which raises awareness about the impact of HIV and AIDS on women and girls.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, and now you've been doing that for 12 years and brought you to this. So I know you tweet you do the tweeting about Scandal. And
Yes, my recaps.
Right.
I watch too much TV, basically.
No, but it works though. I mean, would you say that's one of the things that garnered a lot of following for you? Or?
Yeah. My Scandal recaps definitely kind of like increased my profile because everybody wanted to kind of create a water cooler conversation around the show. They were all watching.
Right. So I know Shonda Rhimes gets a lot of criticism for the kind of shows she does or whatever, and I know you met her recently. So what was that experience like?
Oh my God, it was everything.
Because she knows you. She knew you.
Yeah, crazy. I had no idea. So I was at the Essence Black Women in Hollywood luncheon in February.
Yes.
And the show it ended, and I saw Shonda. She's sitting at the same table as Oprah.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? Today I'm talking to Shonda. So I like beeline to her, and another celebrity was standing next to me, and she was like really giddy to meet Shonda. So when she hugged Shonda, Shonda's like, "Oh, okay, girl." I was like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "I can't wait to work with you."
Yeah.
The girl walks away, and I'm standing there, and I was like, "Oh, hi, I'm Luvvie," and she's like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And then somebody interrupted, and then she turned back around. She was like, "Awesomely Luvvie? Oh my God, I love you."
Right.
And then she gave me a huge hug, and she's like, "I'm kind of starstruck right now."
Right.
I could have died. It was awesome. Yeah. So we took a selfie, and it was great.
Yeah. I know you recently met. I'm sorry, man. Let's just call out the names. Whatever. You're a superstar anyway. So it's good that you know. And you know what I like too, that you know, even with your status and everything, you don't really deviate from your Nigerian affiliation. You still definitely embrace that. You know.
Born and raised.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, I was born in Nigeria.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But you must have come here at a young age.
9.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's too young. But so, like I said, I like the fact that you still embrace your Nigerian, the Nigerian and everything. You met Elton John too, and I like the guy. Seriously, and Nick, why you always coming in here with his women's in the studio, man? Let me stop. So, what was that experience like? Because I know that was
Oh,
man. And what I like, following your social media page is fun. I love it. So, and
Good.
this is where I'm getting all the stuff from.
Good. Yeah. Honestly, it's my own chronicle of my life too, because sometimes I'll even scroll back on my social media to kind of like revel in the moment of whatever just happened.
Yeah.
But how I met Elton John is the One campaign. I'm one of the ambassadors for the One campaigns, like girls and women.
Right.
So they were having Elton John last week. He went to D.C. to speak on Congress to basically encourage congressmen to keep funding HIV and AIDS prevention and treatment.
Good.
Because that's his real passion. So they did a reception with the Elton John AIDS Foundation. They had me come. So Elton spoke, and after he got off the podium, I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, I'm Luvvie. Nice to meet you." And I shook his hand because whenever I meet celebrities, I try to they can basically dictate the amount of space between us. So I'll shake their hands. I won't go to hug them. But he pulled me in and gave me a double kiss, double kiss on the cheek. And I was like, oh, snap. So then I told him about my nonprofit, and I was like, we raise awareness about HIV. We use red shoes. He pulled me into a huge hug. Right. And he was like, we've got to work together.
Nice. That's what it's about,
yes.
man. Yeah, that's fantastic. So let's leave that celebrity arena alone for a minute. Let's bring it.
Let's do it.
Let's bring it back. In the news recently, and big shout out to the homie Abiola. Was supposed to be here, couldn't make it tonight. But
Abiola, come on, man, we supposed to be here.
I know, right? We wanted to talk about police brutality and how we could try to at least end it, because it's just too much. Honestly, it's been going around too much and everything. So. What's your whole thought about that, the whole situation?
We can't end police brutality until we end systemic racism. So it's part of a larger problem.
True.
It's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a broken leg.
Yeah.
There was a post that, I don't know where it showed up, I can't remember, but there ended up a Reddit thread about cops who were actually writing about 911 calls that they get. And that they have to respond to. And many times they get calls from white people who are like, hey, there's a black person in my neighborhood. And these people call 911.
Yes.
And the cops have to respond to it. So they show up and they're like, wait, what? You called us because you saw a black person. So we're living in a culture where white people are afraid of seeing black people in the neighborhoods. So, of course, when cops show up, they have to deal with it. And then those cops also have the same terrible attitudes. Yeah. So it's all part of a grand problem.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very, very good point. We have to end that systemic racism. And, it's a shame that people deny it, that it exists. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it does exist. Trust me, I know, because to what you just said, I run every morning. When I used to, I try to run every morning. So there was some neighborhoods I would run, and I swear to you, there will always be a policeman just walking by or driving by, looking at me. Because I'm running at 4:30 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Right. And I see the policeman, I'm like, oh, whatever. But when I run in my neighborhood, I don't see nothing. You know what I mean? But yeah, so there's definitely somebody maybe saying, oh, there's a black man,
I mean, it's the inherent idea that seeing black skin is threatening, which... To be really honest, black people should be scared of white people because they've used their power to kill us for centuries. Right. So really, they shouldn't be the ones that are scared. We should be the ones scared of them if we wanted to use like that. But
it's a whole big thing. But one of the things we see that a lot of police, the reason they give is because people are resisting arrests. We've seen that. That has been, I don't want to say BS, but it's
BS.
It is BS because we see it in the Scott Walker case, this guy was fine, he was running. And people that say he shouldn't have run, I said, no, the policeman shouldn't have used excessive force.
There's a whole show dedicated to people running away from cops. It's called Cops.
I like that, right. Exactly.
Even the freaking opening sequence of Cops is
bad boy,
what you gonna do? Right. So when did it become illegal necessarily to run away? It's not right to run away from a cop necessarily, but it's also not illegal, because if you feel threatened by a person with a gun, a cop is a person with a gun, and at this point, most people do not feel, black people do not feel safe with cops. So fight or flight can kick in, and your reflexes might say, you know what, run.
Right.
and then you die because you ran.
Exactly.
Just insane to me.
The use of excessive force is just terrible. You know what I like to say though? I thank God for this. This is the cell phone.
Yeah.
That technology, I think, is one of the biggest weapons against police brutality. Because can you imagine if that guy didn't have that video? They were already concocting a story already.
But
the cop was even laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
what's bad about that is that now they're criminalizing the people who are creating the video.
Yeah,
The
you're
guy
right.
who recorded Eric Garner being killed
was in
is
jail.
still sitting in jail and
Yeah.
found rat poison in his food. They tried to kill him while he's behind
Exactly,
bars.
right.
So
Just
even people
unfortunate.
who are trying to actually use these phones for good,
Yeah.
they're still being threatened because cops are basically coming back at them.
Right.
And honestly, I just think we all just kind of have to just be brave and do it anyway.
Of course.
We have to do it.
Yeah,
we have to do it.
until laws are changed.
Until laws and attitudes. Laws can be changed all day long, but they
Right.
might not be enforced.
They have to be enforced. That's what I mean. They have to be
Right.
like, I know there was an advocate in Baltimore trying to break this whole 10-day that cops have 10 days to handle an investigation or something. No, why do we need 10 days?
days.
Because look at this case, the case of Freddie Gray. They were about to change that whole story around until satellite show that they stopped and stuff like that, and they were trying to say, oh, it was because he was bouncing around. That's how he got that.
The
give
human
me a
body,
break.
the amount of force
Yeah.
that it needs for like your spine to
Right.
be severed
Right.
does not come from you just running back and forth
Exactly.
behind
That-
somebody's. That's
That
crazy.
was definitely brutal force.
Like, that's crazy.
Exactly. So, which is this kind of segues into my next question. What do you think of Marilyn Mosby? Some people were applauding her for coming out, filing those charges right away, and but also she got some criticism from people in law and saying that it was a rush to judgment. She did it for her own self personification to get herself out there. And I've read online in some blogs and some newspaper prints saying that her case is flimsy at best and that she overcharged and everything. What do you think about that whole situation?
I think what was actually most important
Yeah.
to happen when Marilyn got up on that podium was what she did, which was to affirm the value of Black life.
Okay.
We needed to hear somebody in authority say it.
Right.
And even if those people get off, I appreciate her for saying that and for actually putting herself in that line of fire.
Okay.
And for actually being somebody to say, you know what, we are worth protecting. I am taking this on and I hear you. She actually said, I hear you.
Right.
And that's when the uprising kind of died down. People were like, that's what we wanted, was to be
Kinda.
heard.
Yeah.
So I think Marilyn, I support her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If she did overcharge them,
Right.
it doesn't mean they can't get a lesser charge.
Okay, we'll see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
we'll see how that played out.
If they walk away, it would suck tremendously.
Yeah.
However,
definitely.
I think it's very important to see and hear certain things, and she represented that was needed in that moment.
Right, because one of the things they're going to say is that, these cops really had the intent
Right.
to want to kill him, which, of course, they could say is not. And, of course, they were saying that the knife he was carrying was illegal.
Man, I swear, they be thinking
I know.
Black people are like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all together.
I know.
Like,
So-
they'll be like, they were holding a wallet. Somehow we can fashion our wallet to become a
Exactly.
grenade.
Exactly.
It's
So,
crazy.
I know. I'm just, I'm not trying to play devil advocate. I'm just being objective, and we
Yeah.
know all this.
I'm biased all day, every day. I'm just going to let that, like, I'm fine
You can do
being
that.
totally biased. I
Right.
will say that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this though. So some people support the riots. I honestly didn't. And I just think there are better ways. And I think there are better ways for us to get our message across. And there were peaceful protests and everything. So some people were saying that the media were only focusing on the riots. That they didn't focus on the peaceful protests. But come on, that's the media. They need something that's gonna like
know what?
stir people up and
I support the riots.
Okay.
And I don't even call them riots. I call them uprisings.
Uprisings,
I support
right.
it because for people, one, I keep on hearing, why would you damage your community?
Yes,
Oh,
right.
What in Baltimore do Black people own? They live there, one.
Okay,
All right?
but-
They don't own CVS. CVS is owned by a giant conglomerate, and CVS is not struggling.
But
That building will come back up. There's insurance. That's one, right?
I heard that. Okay.
There's insurance.
All
But
right.
two, when people riot,
Yes.
you have gotten to the point where you feel like nothing else works. People don't just wake up and say, I'm rioting today.
Mm-hmm.
People wake up after centuries of feeling degraded, of feeling oppressed.
Right.
I really do believe that when people riot, it's from rage that you don't know where else to channel it to.
Right.
People have tried multiple ways to be heard. They've tried policy, they've tried grassroots organizing. There have been organizers for decades who've been working at it.
Right.
But one point that even people who do not support rioting have to admit is it got the attention it needed to get.
It got some attention, but I think it got the attention the wrong way. I think with
Yeah.
honestly, so here's my thing, though.
I can't agree.
Yeah. Well, I think we're just gonna have to disagree on this. But some of the people that were even rioting didn't even know what they were rioting about. They were doing this for their own personal justification. They were looting. They were stealing, basically.
But you know what's funny though? Like,
Yes.
did you see the pictures of the white people that were looting? Did you see that? You ain't see it? You ain't see it?
After doing so, not vividly, but after
There were lots.
There were quite a few, but it didn't show that. Right.
I do understand
Right,
that
it
the
didn't
media
show that.
will shape the narrative, and
Yes,
they did.
They
but
did. So that's a good point.
Before the rioting or whatever, the uprising really
Right.
even started, there were 3 days of very peaceful protests
Yes.
that got no love. No type of media play. Now, I understand that media loves drama, so that, of course they'll play that up.
Right.
But positive reinforcement is a thing. Violence is what got everyone to focus on
Kind of
Baltimore.
focus, right? So
And then it got the conversation started. I don't think violence is always the answer. I don't think it's often the answer.
Yeah.
But I think when it happens, you have to kind of channel and try to understand the
Right.
state of affairs that brings people to the point where you want to burn something down.
Right.
And I understand, because if it was my son that was killed in broad daylight, I would light the matches myself.
Wow.
And that is real.
Okay, so you just answered my next question, saying that would you riot? And I guess it just answered
Man,
it.
listen. First of all, the parents of all the black men and the black women, because black women also get killed by
Yes,
cops.
right. It's
Rakia
unfortunate.
Boyd is a name that most people do not know, and they should. They've used so much class and they've had so much grace.
Right.
Because how do you even wake up in the morning and know that your son died because somebody thought he was threatening in that moment and he did nothing?
Exactly.
So the fact that, like, you know, the parents of Mike Brown were like, don't riot, be peaceful, that is class and grace I cannot say I have.
Yeah, and that's another thing. So, you know, I want to say they didn't support the riots. The same thing, Mike Brown, even the parents of Freddie Gray.
But you know what, though?
Yeah.
That Freddie Gray was everybody's cousin, everybody's brother, because you saw
Right.
him, you saw your brother in him.
Definitely.
So honestly, it was out of their hands. Yes, you don't want people to try to avenge the death of your son, but
Right.
people are seeing themselves in your son's body.
Right.
And saying that could have been me today, that could be me tomorrow, that could be my brother, that could be me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, again, props to those parents for their grace, because I would want to burn something to the ground,
Yeah.
and that is real life.
I think that's the first thing Michael Brown's uncle or something yelled, let's burn this whatever down. Yeah. So
What are you protecting?
I know. Still keeping it in the same context. One of the things I wanted to do with this platform was to try to create awareness for domestic abuse and violence against the women in Nigeria, because I've seen it. I've seen where women are being just dragged on the street, kicked, beaten, and everything. So they even go to the police, and the police tells them, you know, that's a domestic situation. We don't. So I want to create awareness. So one thing that I wish would happen, because let's face it here, that there's violence against women here, and there's domestic abuse here, but we have laws, and the laws are enforced to an extent. I know. Sometimes. It depends, you know, on the status and everything, but in Nigeria, I don't think it's enforced at all.
Right.
Honestly,
right.
and I've seen this happen. So what are some of the things that you think we could do to, because like my previous guest said, I don't think it's going to end, but what are some of the things you think we could do to create awareness and educate people to try to see it at least reduce, if not eradicated completely?
Part of activism
Yes.
is retaining hope.
Okay,
You
good.
cannot be an activist, or you cannot want the world to be a better place without thinking it can become one.
Okay,
So I have
good.
to completely disagree with the idea of, oh, it's not going to.
Thank you for that.
That
Thank
can't
you.
be a thing that we believe in. We have to honestly
It's a mindset.
understand
Okay,
that we
I'll
have
go
to do
with that.
something to change it, right?
Yeah.
Part of what we need to do is tell more stories of people who've dealt with domestic violence. People relate to stories because they
Yes.
start seeing themselves in those stories, and then that makes them care more. So we need to actually like show that domestic violence doesn't look like the person on the street with a black eye. It doesn't look like the person who's in the ER with a broken leg.
Right.
It might look like your coworker who just looks tired that day, but you didn't know that she just got punched in the chest. You know.
yeah.
So domestic violence doesn't always leave physical scars, and I do think we need to amplify more of the stories of women who've triumphed past it, or who can say, you know, like, I've gone through this and I moved past it. I know people who've gone through domestic violence. And just empowering women to understand that your voice is necessary. And you, of all people, do not deserve to ever be beating.
Right.
I think for some people, they actually really do think it's the normal. So for them, they're like, oh, your husband doesn't beat you? Or your wife doesn't hit you every day? I think we just need to keep talking about it. In Nigeria, women aren't protected like we should be.
That's what I'm saying. We need to do that.
We need
honestly.
to protect women, and I think we also need to provide women with resources.
Yes.
The fact that a woman might get punched in the face, go to the cops, and they're like, I have nothing to do with it. It's not my fault. They need to know.
What did you do to your husband?
What did you do to your husband? What would
Yeah.
you say to him? They need to know where else to go.
Right.
If it's a safe house, that people need to create safe houses.
Yeah.
So, like, if she knows, fine, the cops are not going to pay attention, she knows she can go somewhere else where she will get help.
Right.
Does that exist?
I don't know, to be honest with you. It's something we're still talking about. I mean, some people have contacted me saying that, you know, they have kind of shelters and stuff like that, or counseling homes and everything in Nigeria. So I'm not really focused on that yet, but, you know, I think that's a good idea. That's something we
Yeah, I think
definitely
we
need to
need that.
provide in. But to what you said, though, ever since I started posting about this on my Facebook page, you will not believe the amount of inbox messages I've gotten and emails I've gotten. I've gotten, I think, close to 400.
Wow.
Yes, from men and women.
Wow.
I kid you not. And so just reading through them and everything, it's unbelievable. And, you know, one of the things that some men say they feel abused, not just physically, but verbally.
Absolutely.
Like, you know,
that's a
Nigerian
thing.
women can really tear your ass up
Yeah,
when
they
it
can.
comes to
Yeah, we
cursing.
can.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
So that's some of the abuse.
I watch my mouth.
Some people say, you know, they've been abused sexually. Their wife holds back sex and everything. So it's a lot. So I'm looking for experts. You know, I want to be strategic with this and everything. And to what you said, let's try to create outlets and, you know, avenues where women can, you know, come and talk about this and let them know that, you know, they shouldn't be subjected to
I have a
this.
suggestion for you. Huh?
Let's go.
I think don't keep it just on Facebook. Even if you have to create a Tumblr, which is
Okay,
easy.
Tumblr. Okay.
Create a Tumblr.
Right.
And anytime you get these messages, post them up.
Okay.
Because I think there's courage in other people telling their stories, even
Right.
if it's anonymous, because it might spur somebody else to tell theirs.
Good point.
And it creates a home for it all to live.
Yeah.
And people can start kind of, you can curate people's ideas, you can curate their suggestions.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good thing, because it would be great to be able to share
yeah,
it
definitely.
publicly and be like, hey, go to this website where it's like telling the stories of people
Yeah.
who are feeling abused. And I do think men are definitely don't tell their stories, because
Yes.
then it becomes a machismo thing. Does that make you less of a man
Yeah,
if you
you're
admit to
weak.
being
It could
abused?
be
And I
emasculating.
don't believe that.
Right.
I really do think men are in positions to be abused too,
Right.
and should tell their stories also.
Definitely. So I'm sorry, we got to round up. We actually have gone over time and everything,
over.
but yeah, no, that's fine. Come on, man. Lovey's in the house, man. What
Yes.
are you talking about? Yeah, it's not every day we get Luvvie here. So two things. One thing I introduced on Live with Humble Prince is Live with Humble Prince exclusive. So I'd like for you to give us an exclusive. Like, tell us what nobody knows about you, what we can't find on the blogs. Just real quick, 30 seconds or less.
Oh my God, that's so hard, because I'm somebody who I like secrets.
I know, real G's moving silence, like you
Real
always say.
G's moving silence,
Man,
right?
Just tell us something, man. It could be cheesy, whatever, anything.
Okay, let's see. There's news
Yeah.
dropping tomorrow that I can't say, but I will.
You can't even give me an exclusive. You can't do it here. You
Oh,
can do.
let me think. What can I'm working on a couple of things. Oh, they're playing the Jeopardy song on me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to Morocco first week in June for the first time ever.
Nice, fantastic,
Yes.
good. That's this. I know you talking about traveling and something you wanted to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Please keep us posted. You know, on your social media. Let's find out and
Yeah.
everything. Fantastic.
It should be fun.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. People just, I think that's a good thing. People should travel more and explore more. you
Honestly,
know,
I think
more like-
travel changes your world just because
It
it makes
definitely does.
it makes you understand how
does.
insignificant you are in a grand scheme of things,
Yes.
and how ethnocentric you also are. Because we all
Right.
think like everyone thinks like we do, eats what we do, speaks like we do.
Good
Go
to see
somewhere
different.
else.
Yeah, there's what's that guy's name on CNN, man? Ugh.
Don Lemon, the worst.
No, no. The guy that travels all over the place.
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, Bourdain.
Yeah.
I really envy that guy, man.
Yeah.
And his story is fascinating too. You should read about him. You know, he got his break at 44, and
Wow.
yes, he's been doing this. I really envy the guy. I'll be honest. He has, I think, the best job ever. But Luvvie, thank you so much. Time
Yes.
flies when you're having fun. Please, whenever
Yes,
you're in
it
New York, please feel free to stop by. Before you go, though, please, is there anybody you'd like to acknowledge to give a shout out?
My mom,
Yeah,
my sister,
Yes.
my best friends.
Yes.
Yeah, and everyone who reads my blog and supports what I do, I really
Right.
appreciate you. So
Thank you.
Shout out to you.
Right. Then how can people get in contact with you if they need you on social
I
media?
am Luvvie everywhere. Luvvie. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And my blog is awesomelyluvvie.com. Or now you can actually just go to luvvie.com and you'll land there.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so we spoke before the show, man. I wanted to know some of the things you're working on, man. But you said you
What
can't
am I
say.
working on?
You said you can't say.
I can't say. Some
Right.
exclusive got to drop.
Yeah, okay. I was hoping you, you know.
My manager will fight me if I drop it.
Yeah, Luvvie, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you and everything.
Yes, indeed.
So, Nick, can we have a call back or no, man? It's on you. Okay. Nah, come on, we're live, man. This is how we do it. So, guys, sorry for the callback segment. We will definitely have it on Saturday. Adil and I will be on Sahara TV. Please join us. We have some very interesting topics, too. So, on that note, we're going to end the show. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to all my guests, starting with the beautiful Luvvie Ajayi. Luvvie, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, big shout out to Lagbaja as well. To the two Miss Nigeria USA contestants, Francis and Wurala. I wish you guys success on the day of. Big shout out to Joy. Also, I was telling you guys that we have a iPad giveaway. So tune in next week. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Humble Prince Olu, for more details. But I cannot end the show never without giving a big shout out to the whole Sahara family. Please, Sahara, please give yourself a round of applause. You know, I'm just here on the mic, but this show, there's a lot that goes back into it. So, Michael, thank you so much. Sammy, part of the technical team. Nick, thank you so much. Ike, I saw you back there. Quasi, thank you so much. Adela, sorry, you know, the technical team said we couldn't do it, but we'll get them on Saturday. Big shout out to the whole editorial team. Declan, I saw Declan out there. I saw Miriam out there. Also, Fatima was out there. All of you guys, thank you so much. And I just want to say a very, very special thank you to Sammy Disu. Sammy Disu is in charge of our social media. The guy does a fantastic job. He was actually in a little mishap, but he came in here with crutches to make sure that, you know what, the show don't stop. So please give a resounding round of applause to Sammy Disu, goddammit. I wanted to surprise him and get him on the show, but I could. Nick, can you give him a round of applause, please? Yeah, thank you, man. Big shout out, Sammy Disu. I love you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, all that stuff you guys see on Facebook and social media and everything. Sammy Disu and his team, they're behind that. Sammy Disu, Fatima, all of that. So, again, this was Live with the Humble Prince, Sahara FM Radio. Catch us next week. Shay Brown is going to be in the building. Joy, Miss Nigeria USA pageant is going to be in the building, too. We have author Steve White and FTK, event planner extraordinaire, is going to be in the studio. So there you have it, guys. Live with the Humble Prince. See you on Sahara TV on Saturday. There you go.
Club with the vibrate. They be crazy down with the 5